Hey, what's up guys? Matt here coming to you from Laidlaw's Harley-Davidson. So we've been renovating for a long time. As many of you guys know, the last 6 months we've had major construction on our building. So I wanted to give you guys kind of a sneak peek. We're not completely done yet, but we're done with probably the biggest part of the building, and that is the main showroom. So let's go on inside and give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek. All right, so right away, quite a bit different for those of you who have been in our showroom for the last 20 years or whatever we've been here. I guess it's probably been about 22 years we've been in this location. Just a quick history on the dealership as a whole. So my grandfather, Bob, any of you who have been doing business with us for any amount of time have seen Bob, worked with Bob, and he basically, back in the 50s, he came back from the Korean War. Then he was working as a technician at the dealership in Rosemead. And then in 1958, he decided, hey, you know what? I want to buy the dealership. And he and his dad pulled their money together and bought the dealership for, I want to say it was around $26,000. So the price of a Street Glide, basically. He bought the dealership back in 1958. And then in about 1963, he moved east on Garvey Boulevard, still in Rosemead, and bought a building there, which was Laidlaw's Harley-Davidson for a very long time. Any of you who have been doing business with us for any amount of time know that building, probably bought a Harley there if you've been riding motorcycles in San Gabriel Valley for any amount of time. Then in 2002, we actually moved into this current building here off of the 10 freeway in Baldwin Park. And that was about 22 years ago. And so we just barely put together this new huge renovation. This part of the building, the showroom, the Motorclothes area, and the parts area are all completed now. So the majority of the construction's done now after about 6 months. So we're pretty happy to be here instead of that small little space that we used to be in. But as you can see, the showroom's completely different. We got kind of a new, cool, modern look. And I'll point out some of the things that are kind of a priority with Harley-Davidson and the design team and everything here. So we have a lot of bikes displayed on wheel chocks. You'll notice that we have a lot of light boxes throughout the showroom as well. I'll show you some of those. Really, as a whole, there's just gonna be less of like the long rows of bikes. A lot of times you walk into a Harley dealership, you'll just see like a huge row of the same bike, maybe in a different color. And so there's gonna be a little bit less of that. There's gonna be a little bit more of like creative merchandising and more like inspirational graphics and pieces around the floor, and just really good lighting around the floor is kind of a big priority. And there's an emphasis on just making the bikes look good and having enough space to really sit on the bikes and check them out, walk around them and things like that. So right away when you walk in, we have kind of our highlighted area. We got a couple CVOs here, CVO Street Glide, CVO Road Glide. We had a Legendary here the other day, but it's sold. So we've got 2 Copperhead CVOs here, front and center. And then we have sections, kind of dedicated sections, so you can really see different parts and motorcycles in different areas. Right when you walk in the door on the left here, we've got our adventure touring area. So we've got a 24 model year CVO Pan America here. And then a lot of these center stand merchandising areas we have with like correlating parts. So a lot of adventure touring parts, some of the core pieces like your aluminum side cases and top case are here. We've got another Pan America over here, the non-CVO version. So this is kind of our adventure touring section, and this is kind of evolving too. Like I said, we've only been in this new space for about 3 days. So we'll continue to kind of build it out and kind of fill out the space and best utilize it as time goes on. Moving over here, we've got kind of our Street Bob and Lowrider S section. So we got a couple Lowrider S's here, Street Bobs over here. On these center areas, we've got, like I said, the newest, latest, and greatest parts and Motorclothes. So on this side, we have some Motorclothes, helmet, flannel, shoes, things like that. And one of the new Street Bobs in the blue burst. For those of you who've been customers at our dealership for a while, you'll know that the top and the lower levels used to be all Motorclothes. We used to have all the riding gear downstairs, and upstairs used to be just like the wearable things like t-shirts, jeans, sweatshirts, things like that. So we've consolidated everything to the lower level now, and the upper level is now all of our pre-owned inventory, which is probably the biggest change in this whole remodel. Was we have all the used bikes upstairs now. We're gonna visit that in just a minute. So let's take a look over here real quick. So this is the new Motorclothes area. All the flooring's all redone down here and on the main showroom. The girls have things looking real good down here right now. Over to my right, we've got a lot of our riding gear, things like helmets, jackets, leathers. And then on the left, we've got some of the like sweatshirts, a little bit heavier, long sleeve flannels and things like that. In the back wall here, we've got a lot of our t-shirts, Laidlaw's branded t-shirts, Harley-Davidson t-shirts as well. So they did some pretty cool aesthetic things around here. You got Harley-Davidson on the ceiling here, a lot of this metal highlights throughout the entire dealership and along the front of the building as well. It runs like a continuation of this black and orange and gray theme throughout the entire building, which is kind of cool. So yeah, the Motorclothes turned out pretty nice. Let's come on over here. This will probably be our trike area. We've got one of the tobacco fade tri-glides right here. And this right here is an elevator for our pre-owned stuff. So this was kind of a big undertaking here. I'll show you guys kind of how this works, but bike rolls in, moves up to the top floor, and we got probably there's gonna be about 40 or 50 pre-owned bikes upstairs. So all of our bikes under one roof now. If you guys remember, those of you who've been here before, we used to have pre-owned a little bit segmented in the center of our building, so it was kind of hard to look at new and used at the same time. So everything, it's segregated, but at the same time, it's still under one roof, which is kind of nice, easier to kind of shop the new and used against one another. All right, let's go upstairs. The staircase actually wasn't changed at all. A lot of people ask that question. So this is our pre-owned area. It turned out pretty cool. New flooring up here. We got a lot of space up here. So like I said before, this used to be a Motorclothes area where we had to just have a lot of the merchandise and t-shirts and everything. Yeah, we've got mostly pre-owned up here. We've got some of our 23 model year bikes as well that Harley-Davidson's working some low APR promotions on right now as well. So a lot of the graphics and everything we have on the wall are a lot of the 24 model year stuff, so all updated graphics throughout the dealership. As many of you guys know, the body style changed this year, and so a lot of the graphics around the dealership represent that new change, which is kind of nice. I think one of the things you'll notice too as you're coming down the stairs, just the amount of work and extra lighting that was installed for this remodel. Lighting's super important for any type of a showroom, right? I mean, if you can't see what you're buying, it's hard to really tell exactly what you're looking at. So lighting was a big thing. So here's kind of our street glide area. Once again, we don't have a bunch of rows of the exact same color and model of bike. This is a big year for the street glide and road glide, so we've got them kind of front and center as well when you come in the main entrance here. So redesign on the body style, and they made all those tweaks that I talked about in some of my past videos. But again, some of the newest merchandise we have right here with the new bikes. So things like leathers, helmets. On the other side, we've got some of the parts that are the core parts for these new bikes, the road glide and street glide. So this side we have road glides. We have a road glide here that's outfitted with tour pack, windshield, a different seat, what Harley-Davidson calls their long haul package. And then some of their new accessories as well that fit on these new 24 model year bikes. We have a backrest up there, common accessory that a lot of people get with touring bikes. King Tour Pack, one of their new switchback seats, and then windshield as well. Windshield's changed this year with the body style, as many of you guys know. So this right here is our Sportster section here. We got a Nightster S and then the Sportster S, and some of the correlating accessories that you can get for the Sportsters as well. On the other side of this, we got our Softails. Here's another new road glide. We use a lot of these wheel chock stands as well. It's just kind of nice to be able to see the entire bike, including the left-hand side. One of the things that's great about Harley is they're beautiful from every angle, every side. Not every bike manufacturer can say that, by the way. So here's our Softail area as well, next to our lounge area. This is kind of a cool spot here if you're waiting for service or waiting to do paperwork on a new bike, whatever it may be. New lounge area over here. We had our painter, Seth, paint a lot of tanks that are from different eras of Harley-Davidson's history. Kind of a lesser version of what you see at the museum. Obviously the museum is phenomenal and awesome, but this is kind of the same concept. I got a couple monitors up here. One of the monitors is actually a history of our dealership. Mostly Bob Laidlaw, my grandfather, the founder of the dealership. And just back in the day, all the things that he did as just being part of the Harley community, things like drag racing, stuff like that. Some old shots of the old dealership. Yeah, obviously, when he was first starting, the dealership looked quite a bit different. The whole motorcycle industry was completely different, right? And so things have come a long way, so kind of cool. Over here on this back wall, this is going to be our delivery area slash kind of like highlight monitor area. So we're going to be playing, you know, some of our road trips that we do, you know, when we go to, you know, Grand Canyon or whatever it may be. We'll be highlighting those videos on this monitor. And when someone buys a bike, you know, going over some things like that, orienting them on their new bike purchase. So coming over this way, this is our parts department. Evan and Brandon have been working hard to make this look real good. So yeah, everything's just kind of categorized a little bit according to, you know, further, faster. You know, we got things for, you know, long haul comfort. We got performance stuff, as much as we can have in the state of California. And so everything's just kind of categorized here and merchandised accordingly. Yeah, as you guys can see, a lot of this is all updated as well. A lot of you guys are probably used to that big long counter that used to be out here. So everything's a little bit more simplified, a little bit more clean. The focus, like I mentioned earlier, is more focused on making things easier to find, making it easier to find the new, most relevant stuff that Harley-Davidson has come out with this year. We got a lot of this stuff over here on this left wall that's kind of like an inspiration wall. New seats they came out with this year, kits for like Softails. You know, if you want to do like a fairing kit, something like that, carbon fiber fender over there, Screaming Eagle pipes, things like that. So we got oils over here. So that's pretty much it for our new showroom so far. We're going to be doing some things with the service write-up as well. And so, like I said in past videos, this whole building and project should be done around the late June, so in maybe like 3 or 4 weeks. But we do have our grand opening coming up, guys, June 29th. I invite you all to come out June 29th. We're gonna have food, music, all that good stuff here for our grand reopening of the dealership. Basically Laidlaw's Harley-Davidson 4.0. So yeah, definitely come check that out, guys. And if you're looking for a new bike, come check out our new showroom, and we'd love to help you out, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you on the next one, guys. We'll see you later.